So,
dragon.
say that again. I'm sorry.
She said it was one dragon.
It was just the one dragon. So as you arrive and you begin like kind of integrating these group of people into the area, they thank the group of you, like individually. Like some of them are like especially the ones that you had broken the charm on previously, Aelin. They come up to not only you but also Morella and Daniela. They didn't see a whole lot of Farron, but also Farseer Obek, who kind of like is afraid of them and like clutching his weapons close to his chest. But they thank him as well individually. And Hannibal, you are eventually going back to the same location too, right?
Sure. Maybe fire two on the way, but yeah.
So I think that after that whole ordeal, is there anything that like the group of you like prepares to do? Are you going to go meet up with Jericho like tonight, or are you going to take a rest and then in the morning go meet up with him?
Do I meet everybody?
Well, no. Yeah, I'm asking. Yeah, I'm asking the group that was there that knows what's going on first. So that might skew what they tell you that's going to happen.
Trying to think.
Wait, I missed it. What did you say? I'm sorry.
Are you guys going to go meet up with Jericho tonight?
I don't see why not, but if anybody
Okay.
else objects.
Yeah.
Rather not dilly-dally.
So the group of you is perhaps getting everybody settled, getting some rests. If you guys want a short rest, you can totally take one right now.
Sure, yeah.
And Hannibal, you can also have a short rest as well, and
Sure.
Jericho as well. Obviously, if you want a short rest, if that does anything for you.
Yeah, it does a lot for me.
Get my bardic inspiration back.
And I'm going to be spinning some hit dice.
That's
Kira
true.
Malia will also spin hit dice. As they're mine now.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be spending hit dice
Yeah.
to recover hit points. So let's see.
21.
Those by me can get an extra d6.
Yep. Let's see. I'll spend 2. I might have to spend 3. Let's say it's a d6. That's 28. Now that actually puts me at that. So I spent 2 of those.
And a d6, because I'm...
Mm-hmm.
Or am I there? I don't know if I'm there yet.
Yeah, no, you can get the d6 for sure.
Sure.
That puts me at full.
Shit, really? I'm at 61 and at 62. Fuck it.
All right, cool. Everybody good on that?
Yeah.
Excellent. So Hannibal, you get back and you see, everybody was injured actually in that previous group. Everybody had taken wounds, including you, Aelin. But you were that's the other thing I should have mentioned.
I was unaware of it.
Yeah, you like woke up with like your shoulder was sore, and like some of your armor was crushed on like the thigh area.
Not my pretty armor.
So yeah, you had to bang out the dents and recover a little bit.
Yeah.
Your
That was
shoulder's
pretty
probably all
good.
like bruised and shit. Hannibal's also a little bit messed up.
I was at less than half health.
Yep.
Everybody looks beat to shit.
Nah, we're fine. I'm fine.
What'd you guys do?
Well, Garuda's place is no more.
Cool. Would have been nice to have been told, but alright.
You weren't around, Hannibal.
Oh yeah, I left without telling anybody.
Yes, that you did.
Whatever. Yeah,
I
burned
suggest
down
not doing it again, Hannibal.
I'll consider it. I burned down Doc Manic's place.
Why am I not surprised?
Why am I not surprised?
Damn it,
Nice.
Jordan.
The
Oh my
place is
god.
now a river of flames, and it is burning along with the mutants inside of it. And there was nothing interesting inside.
I see.
Insight check.
Sure, if I could do it.
If you listen, you guys know my role on PC versus PC. It is you can roll an insight check. It is up to Jackson to tell you whether or not it's successful or not.
All right, yeah, roll it, and if it's above a 16 or no, yeah, 16, you know he's hiding something. He's
I feel like that's pretty high. He was always hiding something.
Well, see,
Yeah.
Animal has a naturally high.
It doesn't mean you know what he's hiding.
it just means that you know that I'm not telling the truth when I said I didn't find anything interesting.
Boom.
He's lying. I'm lying. I found something cool or interesting.
Hannibal, it would do us all a great favor.
It's for research purposes.
He
We'll
clutches.
actually find
Hannibal.
amusement out of this.
Hannibal, hand it
No.
over.
Hannibal, what did you find?
Holy thunder.
Still going. Hold on.
Wait for it.
My spirit
All right.
calls for action.
Are you dead now? Is
No,
that what just happened?
Have you?
That's normal. That's Florida for you.
Oh God.
That's every day.
No reason not to live there.
I know, right? Everyone just needs to live in Alaska. It'd be great.
Untrue.
That also seems bad.
It's
Why
all
would you not like
academic,
the
it's all
cold
healthy.
tundra.
You know what,
I
Dalton?
mean-
You can move to Alaska.
I want to.
Let us know how it goes.
I mean, considering that Alaska is now potentially in range of North Korea missiles, I'm.
Yeah, but they would have to care first.
True.
Also, it's perfectly.
They
healthy
send
for
missiles,
someone
we
my
send bears. That's the rule.
age. It's healthy for someone my age to have these.
Uh-huh.
Are you like clutching them at your chest, Hannibal?
No, I don't even take them out. I'm like, I don't have anything.
I just see Farron doing the mom thing with a
Yep,
hand
the mom
out,
hand
like,
out.
tapping the foot.
But there's an exhausting look on Rella's face.
It's mine.
Hannibal, what did you
What?
learn at least?
He's an orc with interesting tastes. Very interesting taste. He's experimenter. He's like me almost.
What is he experimenting with?
People.
Did you rid him?
No, but I burned down everything he owns
I see.
and killed every single one of his followers, or at least most of them.
Do you have any inclination where he went?
Probably when that thing came out of the sky, he had to go somewhere. I plan on going back tomorrow and trying to find him in my disguise again. You say that Garulda is gone?
There's a good her face contorts a bit and yes, but also no. And she just shakes her head. I don't know.
I might know a way to find her.
We might know where she already is.
That's interesting. If she ties, I'll
My
have it in
hunch.
with Doc Manic.
Is that she possessed someone?
Okay.
Is that a thing notable with demons? At least in your line of work.
Gonna make those rolls. Gonna make those rolls.
Yeah, make me an Arcana check.
Shabba-dabba-ba-ba-ba.
Yes, technically, but it has to be. I think that with bats. I mean, it is known commonly that they are able to make possessions. But to your knowledge, they have to have a willing host.
Yes, but it probably had to be a follower.
Well, this is most definitely a follower, so I'm not surprised.
Cool. Let's go kill her so I have an aim with Doc Manic.
Yeah, when you say that, the face contorts a little more grim. You're not killing an innocent person.
Fine,
Why
let's get
stop
her
now?
out. Let's get the thing out and then kill it.
Do you know how, without harming the person?
Not with the 12.
Would I have books on chaos, don't I?
You might be able to do some research and make a roll again, but it would require some time investment.
I said it would require some time investment, or there is another thing I can do. I can call upon somebody who does know.
I see.
If you want, we could do that right now. However, it's dangerous for me.
You decide,
yeah.
Admiral. I will not risk your life for the sake of saving.
Oh no, I won't
Another-
die. It'll just really hurt, and unless you have a healer on standby, you're going to be insane for a day.
You decide, Hannibal.
Fuck it, let's do it.
Very well.
Are we planning on doing anything else for the rest of the night?
Many of us are.
Well, you have to make it over
Tired.
to Jericho still, so
Mhm.
maybe
Yep.
you want to go over there first.
Yeah, if that case, like if we're going over somewhere, I'll wait till we get there to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to do, right, Jordan?
I have a good idea, yeah.
But yeah, Marlowe's just like, she looks at the others, and obviously there's like exhaustion on everyone's face, and then bandaging up the wounds. The battle at Garuda's was exhausting. I don't imagine we'll do much more other than this.
Well, if we're going somewhere, I think it'd be more prudent for me to be there and then cast a spell. Otherwise, you'll be escorting a possibly raving lunatic through the city.
Does that
I
raise
see.
or decrease the chance of fire?
Kind
Probably
of a toss-up,
decrease.
really.
Yeah, I mean, it probably depends.
Mhm.
Do I have a torch? Because this so that'll decrease the chances. If I don't, then it will increase.
Anyways, Hannibal.
Not even questioning that.
What of Anders? Did you hear anything of him?
No.
Well, yeah,
I
you guys still have to fill in Hannibal about the other thing that happened.
Yeah, the thing that flew through the sky. What the fuck was that?
Does everyone look at
We
Farron?
all look at Farron. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it
Oh.
is best that
Inexplicably,
you explain
Jericho's
it.
nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not the one that fucked up this time, man. All right.
Well,
In my defense, it's not as bad as it could have been.
Thank you.
I just burned down a house. You unleashed something horrible.
But at least there's an upside to this. There's certainly not an upside to burning down an entire house.
I know when I know whatever's happening, it's heading over to Cahill right now.
He'll be fine, surely, won't he? Yes.
Yeah, he's freaking the fuck out now. Dane, status check.
So he informs you that Cahill is currently having restless dreams.
He's
He
having
was-
nightmares.
Yeah, he was forced to go to sleep by the rest of his under guard, and he paced around the tent for a long time, but then finally fell asleep in his chair.
He's currently having nightmares.
Very well.
Should I wake him?
Whenever we're done with this matter that you have planned, Hannibal, when we are ready, we will make way towards the other one, the one that needs to be dealt with.
No, I think he needs to do that first. That's what he said.
Right. Yeah. That's what I said.
So
That
it
we'll do this matter, and then we'll go do this other thing eventually when everyone's back, quote unquote, from being tired.
You mean after a long rest?
Maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
Okay.
For all we know, Mr. DM over here could just be like, and another dragon comes.
By the
And
way, I'm not
another
apologizing.
dragon, and another dragon, and another dragon.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be
Yeah.
raining dragons.
It's a
Also-
rain of dragons.
I would
Yep.
just like
It's a
to make it
rain of
known
dragons.
real quick
Hmm.
about me running off by myself. I'm not apologizing.
I don't expect you to, Hannibal.
I'm so
Just
glad
don't do
you're
it
my friend,
again.
Marilla. Well, you say that.
Hannibal,
Mm.
this mission is too important.
So as the group of you, the 7 of you or however many there are, walking through the city,
Hmm.
all of you roll me a survival check.
Sure thing.
I'm gonna
Let's
take
do this.
I'm gonna take the average.
Survival. Raising that bar.
Oh boy.
Oof, Aelin might save you guys
I
here.
got you, Bruce.
What about my 18?
18 was pretty good.
Holy shit, that's actually a really good roll for me.
Yeah, so it's an average of 15. No big deal.
Right,
Almost
okay.
16. I doesn't matter. You guys passed.
Nice.
So you guys are able to avoid kind of the meandering, undead combats that might happen in the Wind, and eventually make it over to Jericho's hovel, where they give the super secret knock. And Jericho, I assume
Open the
you
fuck up.
you answer the door, Jericho.
Yeah. So how long has passed before they've arrived here? They've
It's been about an hour probably.
Okay. The one thing that he would want to talk to this kid about is
Yeah.
try to shake out of him basically the story of how Garulda chose him or how he caught her attention.
Right. So I think that he's pretty open with you. You've deceived him well enough that he trusts you.
Poor fool.
And I think that he probably admits to you. He probably tells you a story. He's probably like, well, I was never the top of the chain. You must understand. People didn't like me for the way I looked, but I was always smarter than them. Even used to, well, get them back for making fun of me. And when the battle happened, I met with this beautiful woman, and she actually paid attention to me. She saw me for my brains, not for anything else. Not for my skin or any of that. And we formed a team, a good team. We would make those that wronged us, make them pay, and then the ones that we wanted to be friends with, they were our friends. It was quite mutual, you understand. And then she let me use her powers, and I let her use my brain.
And what did she want to do with you?
Nothing. Nothing at all. She just wanted my reasoning skills. My ability to see things.
What was she trying to reason then?
Oh, I don't know. She had her own tasks. Sometimes we would go do things for the higher ups. Sometimes we would recruit people, or we do infiltration jobs. I'm sure not unlike the ones that you get.
The things that I do and the people that I have to associate with are another matter entirely. But where were you infiltrating? What have you been doing all of this time?
Well, to be fair, Garulda didn't really like most of the others that we worked with. We used to make them do our jobs a lot of times. But sometimes we would go out. We'd go leave the city, go to the villages and towns. One time we even met up with some other army. They didn't recognize any of the men or women there, but we spoke with them, gathered information.
There's a lot of internal groaning going on right now. And it's interesting that she was able to pick you out so easily, someone who wouldn't be overly concerned with what was going to happen here in the city once the army arrived.
Maybe, maybe not. A lot of people that didn't like how things are being run. Some would even argue they're better now, minus the undead and, well, ugly demons running around. Except for Clarence. Clarence was nice. I liked Clarence. Where is Clarence? Have you seen him?
I take it you missed some of the chaos that had occurred back in the tavern.
Yeah, like I said, I heard the fighting, but I'm sure that he would take care of it.
I'm afraid that everyone had to abandon the place, us ourselves included. I only stayed as long as I did as I had rather effective disguise.
Well, I can only assume then that Clarence must just be biding the time. He loves that bar.
No doubt. An excellent use of his talents, I'm sure.
Yes, indeed. Did you ever have one of his drinks? They're quite good.
I'm afraid I missed the opportunity, but no doubt I'll have one again. And I didn't get the impression that you were out in the city a great deal, associating with the people who used to look down on you. What makes you so sure that there are so many people who prefer the way the city is operated now?
Quite a few people have, just like me, learned that perhaps it's better than fighting. Also, to be on a winning side. A lot of downtrodden people in Middenheim. Well, before you all showed up. Plenty of people looking to better themselves or their positions.
And I confess, even now, even when I know just what a fantastic opportunity it's offered, I'm always surprised when people actually take it.
Yeah, and I think he kind of looks at you confused and he's like, well, I mean, of course, you've done the same, have you not? What are your reasons for joining?
Don't presume I'm what I appear. Some of us don't have to join. Regardless, I think, yes, I think I understand what Gerulda saw. Very well. Continue resting.
Yeah, and I think he probably like looks around and he's like, tired. Is there anywhere to sleep around here? Should take care of these things in the morning.
Quite. I'm sure you can find a bed somewhere. Maybe a hovel, but someone still lived here.
Yeah, and I think he bursts through a door and kind of like is walking into the back now, or it's very small. Your hovel, it's like 2 rooms maybe.
Better than an apartment in New York I could afford.
It's true. And I think that he goes into one of the back rooms, finds like a mat, and goes to sleep when the rest of the group arrives. He is probably fast asleep in the back room.
Right. Well then, Jericho will shake off his creepy old necromancer look to greet them.
Yeah.
Aye, so how have you fared playing nanny?
I haven't been nannying him. He doesn't need it, apart from the fact that I had to send him down for a nap. It's unsettling, I have to say.
I just give him a look. Like,
People resisting, that I expect. People signing up. I mean, even the conditions that we live in, it's not as if I don't know. We're all standing in the house I used to live in. And let me tell you, it was effort just to get this much. But who thinks that signing up with an army of chaos is a good idea?
What?
Oh, good. Hannibal, how do you
Yes,
get a
we found
demon?
him.
Yes, how do you get a demon out of a person?
No. Let's ask.
I don't think that's going to work. He's very curious about where she's gone, but he also doesn't know a damn thing.
Yeah, well, to really know about demons, we have to ask the biggest expert.
Is that the demons? I was hoping it was you.
No, it's not me. It's my dad. Just wait a minute.
You have a father?
Wait,
I sit down and begin
What?
contact the other plane.
Daddy.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
It also, if this works, if this doesn't work, I'll go insane.
Indeed.
I mean, we just have to put you down then like the dog you
Amazing.
are. So,
Can you
Don't
make me?
suppose you've got
Oh, hell.
inspiration, bardic inspiration, maybe?
Too late.
Oh, thank God.
He passes.
I summon my father.
What's your dad look like?
My father is tall with brown hair. He has he's probably still missing half his face, honestly, from when he died.
Oh, was that a father-son bonding activity?
No, I got mine from a different
It's
thing.
like getting
but
matching tattoos, except not.
It's ironic, really. He's tall, very old. He was an
We know
old
you're
father.
better at it because you survived.
He was in his late 50s. And
That is quite old for this setting.
Yeah, he was a scholar more than he was a fighter like I am.
So we probably see him in a robe of some sort, like maybe a brown, like, you know, librarian's robe or sage's robe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did he have any particular mannerisms that are unique to him that you know of?
He had a tendency to just trail off in the middle of a sentence.
Why would
Okay.
you tell him that?
Good.
Because he would start thinking about something else whenever you would talk to him.
Yep. Sounds great. So this, you know, you've cleared a space out of the way and everybody's kind of backed up and, you know, Hannibal's kneeling, meditating on the ground or whatever, and all of a sudden the spirits kind of rise and we see this figure kind of like appear and kind of like I don't think they're particularly aware of like where they are when this happens. It's essentially just the spirit of this being. You get to ask the entity up to 5 questions, and I get to answer. I answer each question with one word, which is yes, no, maybe, never, irrelevant, or unclear.
So everybody pick your questions. I'm going to ask one first.
Okay.
Are you and mother happy right now?
I think that the phrase that he says is, "We are not together." Anybody else pose a question?
yeah, I guess if no one
Wait.
speaks up.
Hang on. Hannibal, why aren't you asking? You're the one who summoned him. You're our closest expert. I mean, it's sweet that you're concerned about their eternal relationship, but
Hannibal has to ask the questions, but I think he prompted everybody to, like, if you have a suggestion of what I should ask.
okay.
Yeah. The creature doesn't, the spirit doesn't respond to anyone but Hannibal.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Then it would just simply be, how does one possibly
I don't
We
think
move.
how is a question that we can get from this.
Got it. So how? You can actually.
You can
If
say
can't
it.
Be answered,
Yeah.
if you can't be answered with a yes or no, they'll offer like something short. But it's always supposed to be helpful. So it'll be something at least.
So your answer is how. I think that's...
How do we get the demon out?
How do we get a demon out of a person without killing them? I turned him around and kind of point like, "See, I remembered."
Yeah, I think the phrase that you get is takes a ritual of great power.
Do we have any idea what happens if the host simply dies?
I'll ask that in a second. Where's Mom?
Okay, is this not something you could do literally any other time? I'm just curious.
Yeah, when you actually say that, Jericho, Morella just puts a hand on your shoulder. Just give him a moment.
Yeah, so you say, "Where's Mom?" And I think you go like, you can see that your spirit father is kind of like looking at something, and he looks like he's looking at something that you can't see, and like begins having like a looks like he's having a conversation with someone or something, and then eventually turns back and says, "Apologies. The answer is I don't know." And then like kind of turns back and puts his back to you and looks like he's having like a conversation. You can see like his mouth moving, the spirit's mouth moving, and then like nodding as if listening to something or someone. And then like you can see him like produce like a scroll that has, it's invisible, you can't see any writing on it, and like points to this, and then like nods again as somebody is talking.
I've never seen this behavior in a spirit, right?
No, not at all. No, especially not one that you've summoned to specifically speak and talk with you. It's almost as if the spirit is interacting with other things around it that you are unaware of.
I say to everybody, this isn't normal.
You still have 2 questions.
Well, of course it's not normal. You've summoned the spirit of your dead father to ask him how to perform some kind of horrifying ritualistic surgery.
He is the biggest expert on demons that there ever was.
That's also not normal. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying none of this is normal.
Yeah, but this especially isn't.
What do you mean, Hannibal?
It's like he's alive. He's talking to somebody else.
It's multiple things too. It's not just like the same thing. You'll see him like he'll kind of move to the side and like kind of crouch down and then begin like interacting with something else with his mouth is moving. There's no sound coming out for you. And then again like nod or shake his head as if he's interacting with something.
Okay, is there any other questions that need to be asked? We know that it would take a great ritual to separate somebody from their body.
What ritual? Who would have to perform it? Are we talking about
I got an
wizardry? Are we
idea.
talking about clerics?
Aelin, you're able to resurrect the dead that have recently died, right?
Hila nods.
Will death separate a demon from its host?
I think that his answer is maybe.
Would Elin notice that he's acting kind of similarly to the I don't know what to call them, the spirits of the well?
He is acting exactly like the spirits of the well.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
With the exception of when he's asked a question, he responds to it.
I begin to ask the last question. Who are you with right now? Who else are you talking to?
Yeah, I think he looks and his face is in confusion, and he says, "People, all of these people," and kind of like motions around him and turns like a full like 360 degrees. And the image begins to shimmer and fade as the last question is asked, and we see him return to interacting with different invisible entities around him until it fades away completely.
This place isn't right.
Well, I mean, I haven't been around to clean up in a while, but apart from that,
No, I mean, this area isn't right.
because it's crammed full of the undead.
Yeah, well,
Look, I'm not trying to ruin the atmosphere you're going for here. It's just I'm having a bit of a difficult time following along with. We've just summoned your father, who's apparently very busy having some kind of ghost conference. And the best idea that we have so far is that maybe if we just kill the boy and then revive him, that will exorcise the demon.
Well, do we have any other option?
Don't get me wrong, I had thought of it. I was just hoping it would be simpler and possibly less expensive.
Well, if it's I could test something. If it's a magic over the boy, I could potentially dispel it.
If you still can. I'm very much exhausted for the day.
Can I take a look at the boy using detect magic?
Yeah, you could detect magic and go observe him if you
Yeah.
want to.
See if there's any magic acting upon him.
I think the answer is very clear that the answer is no. But when you cast detect magic, there is a bright shining light that was not there the last time you cast detect magic in your party's presence. And it is most obviously the staff that Jericho wields now.
The fuck is that?
I thought that was sorry. I thought that was
No,
explained.
they actually didn't explain anything to Hannibal about that yet.
Yeah, no.
I didn't explain the
Jericho
stuff.
is saying in character. I thought they would have had the opportunity to explain
okay.
that. Farron and I, we were going on an infiltration mission. They were obviously performing some kind of terrifying ritual. We decided to do our best to sabotage it, steal something important. Thought maybe you could take a look at it. And, well, we were, I'm going to say, 3/4 successful in that we have the staff, we were not caught, and they do not have control of a horrifying undead monster.
Hey, 2 for 3 is always good.
3 for 4, really. But if you have a better idea of what it is than I do, feel free. I haven't seen anything quite like this before. I mean, the basic principles are obvious, but
I take it in my hands and I begin to examine it. And if you wouldn't mind listing off those types there. There's transmutation, alteration, evocation, and enchantments.
Also, distinctly, Hannibal, you recognize that each talisman, of which there are 8 on this staff, each talisman is a separate light in the detect magic skew, as well as the staff itself.
Each one of these things has a different light, a different magic type. Can I do some kind of check? Something?
What are you looking for?
I'm looking to see if I could determine. Like, I imagine they gave me the rundown, and like it's kind of obvious that this thing had something to do with that big nasty dragon boy.
Mm-hmm.
Can I try to see if I can find this link, particularly like maybe on the enchantment / and they said it was undead, right?
Yeah.
Maybe check out like the enchantment slash necromantic slash conjuration side of it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So I'm examining that.
Make me. I guess it's Arcana. Make me an Arcana check.
Yeah, fuck, I wouldn't.
Can I assist him?
Yeah. So you can assist him in this because you've already made a good roll on a Jericho. So you can have advantage, Hannibal. So you don't get basically. This will give you not duplicate information.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Ooh.
21's pretty good. So yes, you know all that Jericho knew as well. Whereas like talismans specifically can, or like typically in order to control great magical creatures, you need like a piece or part of that magical creature, typically with enchantment magic on it, obviously, to control it. I think that you identify that there is a talisman that appears to be vaguely tooth-like in origin. That is probably a dragon or drake tooth of some sort. It's large. It's perhaps about 6 inches long, and it's towards the top of the staff, and it kind of is tied on with a little like a little chain that kind of hangs off the side of it. But I think that additional magic or additional things that you can gather from that, knowing that information, you're able to identify a couple of the other of the 8 talismans and align them with magical beasts. One in particular appears to be it appears to be like a couple of strands of hair that are tied in a bow. You identify that as potentially the hair of a unicorn.
Unicorn!
I'm not saying this out loud yet.
Can we summon a unicorn, please?
You identify something that you know right away. You identify the wings of what appear to be a fairy that are kind of in a glass vial. And I think that the fourth one that you identify is a long red feather that kind of it appears to be trapped in some sort of like stasis or something, because it's like unmoving and unbreakable. It's hard to the touch, but you know that it appears to be a rock feather. It's ROC.
Oh shit. Would I know how to control these things through this?
I think that would require trial and error. For like how you would spend magic to do it, whether or not you need specific skills, specific spells that you need to learn, that kind of thing.
I say to Jericho, I might be able to get this to work. Do you mind if I hold on to it?
Well, I mean, I'm fairly certain I can make an educated guess myself, but it does seem more your deeply unfortunate and horrifying wheelhouse. So, sure. Looks good with you.
Thank you.
Really pulls the whole outfit together.
I'll begin trying,
That's an outfit.
making this thing work. If
yeah,
all else
so
fails,
so
then I just
also
say-
be aware that this is an identifiable item to people in town.
yeah, no, I'm gonna keep this hidden. Don't worry.
Yeah, they will, like, running around at night during the chaos worked, but if you just try and like stroll up the street with it, people will know immediately whose it is because it's a very very marked item from Malek, who you stole it from.
Also, would I know what would happen if you destroyed a talisman?
It really depends on what the talisman is being used for. For example,
If it's like a conjuration, it would disappear. If it was enchantment, it would just go crazy or something.
yeah, exactly. If it's an enchantment, it might lose control over what it was had. If it's conjuration, it might like explode and might summon something, right? Like, it depends on what type of magic is specifically around that talisman that you.
Space.
Right.
What
Yeah.
particularly
Exactly.
is the dragon one?
Enchantment. 100%.
Okay, I'll begin trying to focus my feelings with that.
Yeah.
Maybe try to find the wavelength.
Yeah. So
I'm tired
I actually here's the deal. I actually want you to put something on your character sheet. This is something that I use in my other game that I really really like, and it really really helps when we're dealing with like crazy shit that's kind of outside of the mechanics of the game. I want you to make me a clock, and what I mean by that, Hannibal, is I want you to do me make me a 0 out of 10 clock with the word dragon tooth next to it.
Okay.
All right. During certain points, based on time frame and stuff, I will ask you to make me a roll if you are going to continue working on it. You need to get 10 successes, and then you will know the thing that is relative to that. It might be a daily thing. If you spend all day working on it, we might do it in shifts. It might be like, each session you get to roll, let's say, if you spend some time doing it, if you're not involved with a bunch of other things. But it'll be an easy way to track your knowledge of that particular item and when you will have a completion of the investment of that item.
Okay, I'm going to say something right here, right now about this.
Okay.
I like this a lot better than the crafting system that's normal, in the normal way to do it.
Yeah, the crafting system is retarded. I hate that. In D&D, I hate the crafting system. At least 5th edition.
It was
call
better
it a
before, because it was more based on not really value, but work.
Yeah. No. I prefer a series of skill checks that require not only a time investment, but Will can tell you specifically,
Oh god.
eventually you might get like 3 or 4 different types of clocks, and you have to decide which one you want to work on. You have to prioritize, because you can't work on them all. You can only work on one. So, I think that it's probably smart that like every long rest, you get to work on it, maybe. Something like that. Will be what we'll run with unless I decide to change it.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Excluding this one, because getting the clock in the first place is 1.
Okay, so I'm at 0 out of 10 right now.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Cool. So, with all of that done, what does anybody else have to do as they begin to wind down for the long rest you're going to take?
Just to clarify, who are the people who saw the people of the well? It was Morella, Daniela,
And you. And Obek.
me. Oh, Obek. That was the 4th person. I
Yeah.
was like, I thought that there was somebody else there. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Beck. It's that guy.
Right. The other point. Okay. At some point or another, whenever Hannibal seemed like he was not busy.
Man, everybody has a piece of Hannibal today.
I know, right? Aelin would go talk to him about that.
Okay.
And how it reminded her of such a thing.
The fuck you want?
It's a bit rude, Hannibal. This is a bad time. I'll come back
No.
later.
Go ahead. What's up?
So the way your father was acting, it reminds me of something that I've seen relatively recently. Do you have any idea, or have you ever seen anything or a spirit act like that before?
No, vaguely British Aelin.
She gets an accent when she's nervous.
I might. That might be
Or
true.
just having been basically possessed herself. Perhaps.
True.
By British people?
Apparently.
Heresy!
Apparently she's British now. It's fine. I lost my train of thought. What are we calling the camp? The underground camp? I guess we're calling it the underground camp.
The Resistance hideout. Let's just call it that.
Okay, great. Resistance hideout. When we were at the Resistance hideout, there's a well, and the best way I can describe it is there are spirits that came out of it, almost mist from the water. They were acting very similar to your father's spirits, almost as if they didn't know we were there, and there were many of them. Does that sound like anything to you?
Jordan?
I mean, again, I mean,
here's kind of the thing is that Hannibal starts saying, He was acting like he was alive.
Yes, so are these people. It was as if they were going about their everyday life in a tavern.
Hmm.
Very strange, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Would I know of any like historical things like this?
Roll me a history check. Be hard. So maybe, I think that you certainly know that spirits act differently depending on location. For example, remember when you went to talk to what was that fae's name? Shit. Remember he acted way more sentient under this spell than your father did, right? Like he gave you fully fleshed out answers because you were right where he had died, right? Like right in the area that he had died that the battle had taken place. And so spirits act differently, certainly based on location of where they might be. So I think that's certainly something to consider.
Have there ever been cases of things like this happening in places where?
So the other thing that you know is there are places within the world where the two planes of existence, both the undead plane and the spirit plane and this plane, are far closer to each other. A good example of this is around Mordheim, because there was such a catastrophic event. The spirit plane is much closer to the physical plane than one would assume. Or than in other places. There's also all of like literally there's a place called the Zombie Marshes where the spirit plane kind of intersects with that and creatures can act differently. Or spirits specifically can act differently.
So I bust out with, it seems like this place is becoming a bleed over spot between the spirit's plane and our plane.
Would seem so. Can this be done by someone specific, or is it just due to the large amount of undead in this area?
For history's sake, it's mainly tragedy that brings things like this about.
There's certainly enough of it here.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you, Hannibal, for your time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, don't know if you care, Cahill's having nightmares right now.
Elin's eyes narrow. And how would you know?
Hold on. I have the perfect thing for this. Shablam. I mix sparkles with my fingers.
And then you just say magic.
Magic.
Shia LaBeouf style.
Yeah.
Elin turns around and walks away.
So I think as you walk away, you see Jericho kind of like standing maybe against a wall. Jericho, you don't even need to make a roll. Putting all of that information together, maybe previously you didn't know exactly what happens. But however you want to introduce the conversation, you know that Middenheim specifically, and I've mentioned it a couple of times as well in game, that the ravine that separates Middenheim from the rest of the outside world is used for refuse, but also burials.
Right.
People aren't buried in there's no graveyards in Middenheim because there's not room for it. It's a city packed to the walls, and so you know folklore and stories in Middenheim of not the dead rising, but like spirits coming back, and like either haunting their murderers or perhaps, giving a guiding hand to their sons and daughters. A matriarch of a family might come back and help guide the new heir. Mostly they're folktales, but
classic ghost stories.
right. But in Middenheim, all of that is much more real, and it's largely suspected that that plane, that intersection between the spirit world and the physical realm, are very close at Middenheim because of the fact that for the past 3,000 years, every single person who's ever died basically lives under the city, right? Like their bodies are below the city now. And I think that putting that conversation and also what you know together, that is most likely the reason for these two incidents. So would you say anything to Aelin?
I mean, I think he's still trying to figure out what the implications are of that, because ghost stories are one thing, but the fact that Aelin basically saw an entire ghost tavern is stranger still, I feel.
Yeah.
So would it be reasonable for him to think that this is, on the one hand, in line with things that are just sort of standard to Middenheim, but on the other hand, still also something different and new?
Yeah, I think so. There's definitely not reports like there's probably, especially during for example, the last day of the year is the Day of the Dead in empirical terms. There are probably stories of the spirits rising to dance with loved ones. Out on the greens of the parks, and stuff like that. The priests of Moor around here are pretty active as well. Those are the guys that hate undeath. So there's probably some stories of like them delving down into the tunnels to fight, combat those that didn't quite die, that breached into undeath, etc., etc. But I certainly think that to have two instances kind of so close together and so alike is certainly a larger percentage of happenstance than you would normally hear about. Yes. Granted, Hannibal did summon one, but that's beside the point.
It also acted weird by his standards.
Correct.
I have
His
very low,
horrifying standards.
I have very strange standards.
Strange, horrifying, same thing.
By the way, I should mention something, guys. Part of the city might be on fire. No thanks are necessary.
That's... Jericho looks to the others. Does that usually happen when he's been just gone for a day?
Simultaneous, yes.
Yes.
Just mass nodding.
Yep.
It's why we don't let him go alone much.
And I'm not sorry.
Well, I gathered that much.
In fact, it was rather fun.
Okay, I have some serious questions about actually having brought him along here. I know he's a general and supposedly quite tactically brilliant, but on the other hand, he appears to be some kind of horrifying, socially outcast reprobate.
That also works too.
Hey, throw scientists
Unfortunately-
in there somewhere.
Not
Unfortunately,
convinced.
he's the one with the most knowledge on demons. And
I mean, according to him.
she kind of looks away from it. For a lot of people, he does intense studies.
I am certain I don't want to know. Look,
I dissect demons.
yeah, look, I don't...
It's a lot to take in, Jericho. I know.
I can cope with the fact that my city is obviously going to be suffering a bit under the entire occupation of the literal forces of hell and undeath. But if you could avoid burning down even more of it, if it's not supremely no, why am I bothering? Okay, what's our plan then? We're just going to have a rest and then maybe see if we can rescue the boy in the morning by murdering him and then bringing him back?
Sounds like a plan.
If some of you wish to do that, you may.
Also,
Yes.
I may want to head out for. I might be able to get in with Doc Manic. Maybe convince him to go somewhere, lead him into a trap, something like that.
Okay.
Jordan laughs. So
I think that kind of is a good topper to the end of the session here, where
Mhm.
the group settles down for a rest.
And contemplate what they're doing next.
Yeah, contemplate their lives and if they're actually going to murder a 17-year-old boy in
Medically murder.
I mean, we're gonna bring him back.
it's like anesthesia,
Yeah, it's
No.
extreme anesthesia.
well,
except
Yeah,
I'm
I
going
mean,
to
I
blow
just-
his brains out.
I think
You
that the
can't
appropriate
see my face right now, but
It's just holding the pillow over his face, and then
shooting it.
No, we need him to be intact to be brought back.
We
Okay.
carve his heart out with a spoon, and then
Farron,
do...
it was tactically necessary, okay? I'm sorry.
Fine, I'll cast blight on him.
Just
No,
murdered
no,
him.
no.
Turkey.
Oh god.
So I can't wait. I
anyways.
can't wait for that discussion. So
Yeah.
let's-
Hellish rebuke. You guys' choice.
when the discussion comes up of how do we kill a 17-year-old boy next session, I will remember this.
Got the diamonds on hand, right?
I mean,
It's
I
probably
think,
going to be me, the person who doesn't want to kill him the most, because obviously for story purposes that makes the most sense. Because
does it
I'm-
really? You-
No.
I
no.
think Aylin's
question
mercy.
mark?
I think Aylin's
Yeah.
mercy killing
Yeah.
assassinations.
Jericho feels
It's
responsible. Aelin will feel responsible. Hannibal will think it's hilarious. I don't think
No, I
Morella
just
is at the
won't
top of
care.
our list.
I find burning shit funny. I
Um,
don't think killing things is. It's just kind of whatever.
so let's talk about inspiration. Who do you guys feel
Yep.
deserves inspiration?
well, not Aelin, because she wasn't here. So
I don't know.
I
she
think
worked it
Aylin
so
just because of
well.
that joke.
Yeah.
I already have it, so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Although I appreciate it. But let's give it
Jericho
to
did
somebody
do
else.
this session. In terms, not just simply like role playing wise, like he progressed some things along, such as with Garuda and things of that sort. So,
You said Jericho, right?
I feel
Party
Jericho
agree?
deserves
Yeah. I'll go with
Yeah.
Jericho.
Party rules that Jericho deserves inspiration.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I mean, he made, I think, out of all of us, besides maybe Hannibal, the most rolls today, and he did fairly well. I mean, he rolled a 30.
Um,
I mean, that's not really in my control, but sure. I'll take the credit.
You built the character.
But the method that you went through it, I liked it. So
I mean, half of success is luck, so
it's true.
so
I'm gonna give one to
That
Hannibal.
Farron tells himself.
Yeah.
Hannibal would also be my like. second
I'm
choice.
giving one to Hannibal for the use of resources and tactically minded assault on Doc Manic. And also whether or not he likes to say it or not, I think he did actually care about Kira and Malia a little bit in his cold heart. And also, you know,
Fucker.
we got to meet Hannibal's dad, although briefly
Yeah,
and fleetingly.
it wasn't really an emotional thing, except for Hannibal got worried when he said that his mom
Yeah.
wasn't there.
Right? Yeah. I
She's
think
alive. Clearly.
that's the other part, right?
Possibly, quote unquote, live.
Yeah, it's probably the only time Hannibal has shown maybe legitimate concern for another human being, and it was dead.
You care a lot about your apprentice.
Well, it's more that, it'll be annoying if he dies.
My second one-
Find it on one of those fucking things.
My second inspiration is going to Farron for the slap.
yeah.
The slap.
See, violence solves everything.
Because you rolled high as shit on that, and I was impressed.
I did.
You rolled like a 22 or something like that. It was pretty great. So, there you go. Awesome.
Mhm.
Anything else? Any last final thoughts from you guys?
I still love the image of Hannibal floating around being pushed by
That was
Kira
pretty
and
funny.
Malia while levitating because he
Yeah,
couldn't get
I'm just
down.
imagining
We'll
you
just-
like Aang from Avatar riding on his little airball, like flying up walls and stuff. But instead of like riding on airball, you're just levitating, and Kira and Malia are pushing you.
Yeah, we'll just tie a string around his foot and drag him around like a balloon. It'll be fine.
Probably
Mhm.
great. Cool.
Except
Well,
for that moment when we let go.
Well, without further ado, I will see you all next week on the 14th. And
Later.
I hope you all have a wonderful time.
Thank
Enjoy.
you very
Bye,
much.
stream.
Okay, goodbye, everybody.
Stream.
Best
All right, y'all. Thanks for showing up. Glad you could be here. It's been a hell of a lot of fun. I hope that you all had a wonderful time. I hope that you all have a wonderful week. If you're interested in more of the stuff that I do, you can come back on Sunday for Stars Without Number. You can also check out on YouTube all the different things that happen. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Glad you all enjoyed it. We will see you all later.